Let me take off my mask here. Hi, everyone. Don't mind me taking off my mask. Hi, everyone. Give me a wait. I'm sorry. I had to take off my mask. Make sure if you come visit that you also bring yours. So we're going to get started in just a minute. Hi, everyone. Just waving hi. It's Cheryl. Hopefully, I'm inside the Nature Center, so hopefully I'll be able to see all your comments as they're coming through. As you guys know, sometimes it's a little glitchy. So I can't see who's out there. I see there's a few of you looking and watching. I do see my wonderful volunteer, co-worker, and squirrel lover out there. Thank you, Heather, for waving. Hi. All right. So today, for those of you that don't know, my name is Cheryl Fisher, and I am an educator here at Woodford Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge. Not only am I an educator here, but I have the wonderful pleasure of being a shift manager over at the hospital. So at the animal hospital, we see many species of animals all day long. We never know what we're going to get. People just like you here in New Jersey sometimes find animals and you try to tell us what they are over the phone, and we think we might have a squirrel coming in, but then sometimes we have these really interesting animals that you may or may not have known might have been endangered. So not only are these animals possibly endangered, they are threatened as well. So as far as an endangered species, it just means it's at risk of no longer being here. And then a threatened species, if we don't change what we're doing, it could become, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. I have a white background, so I couldn't see the first part of your name. So thank you for your support as well. So we keep trying to put these Talks at 2 out, trying to make sure that we still have your support. Even though our Nature Center here is not open, our animal hospital still continues to thrive. We get animals in. We are getting an average of 40 animals in a day. I just left the animal hospital a few minutes ago, and we've had a constant flow of people coming into the animal hospital today. It's just been a beautiful day, and I'm sure people are just taking the opportunity to get outside, and they're probably finding things. So right now we have a lot of squirrels, we have a lot of rabbits. Pets are enjoying the outdoors as well, and they tend to be getting to these animals. And if your animal ever does receive an injury or is caught by a cat or a dog, it should come in for medical attention, because cats and dogs do end up with a little with saliva that just instantly starts to break down the tissue of these wild animals. So we really encourage you to bring those animals in. But we do wish that we had the funds and availability to come out and pick these animals up for you. Unfortunately, we can't do that. But I did have the opportunity of re-nesting an owl this week, so that was wonderful. I hope you guys saw that little tidbit of information. We found the brancher on the ground, gave him a full assessment, and brought him back to his parents, and was instantly taken care of. So that was quite a treat to see the mother come back and take care of him, and I'm providing updates on the surrogate that we added out there as well. But today I'm here to talk to you about, hey Alexandra, I'm here to talk to you about some endangered species. So today I'm going to show you 2 endangered species that we have here at Cedar Run. We have several. For those of you that haven't been here, we have 60 animals on the property that we care for. They are our resident animals, and they live here year-round because they can't live out in the wild. Now, we do take care of over 5,000 animals here through our animal hospital every year, which is why we are so desperate for our fundraising, because our education department helps support the mission to get these animals back out into the wild. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn a little bit about a couple of the endangered species that we have here today. Does anybody know how many endangered species in general that we have in New Jersey? Because there are federally endangered species, and then there are endangered species within each state. So in this state, does anybody know how many endangered species we have? Any comments? I'm not seeing the comments, so I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. I see little hearts, thank you, but I'm not seeing comments. I'm trying here, guys. Hi. So we have over 800 endangered species just in this state, but that also includes plants. So here we have, because we are a coastal state, we have endangered fish, we have endangered mammals, sea mammals, we have endangered reptiles, birds, amphibians, and let's see, did I miss any? And of course, our land mammals. So there are, invertebrates. I love invertebrates, bugs, guys, clams, anything. But that is definitely difficult for me to identify, but I use an app to help myself with invertebrates. There are over 20 endangered species of invertebrates here in the state, about just under a dozen of amphibians, and about a dozen reptiles. And there are 30 bird species in this state that are endangered, but that does not include the migrants. So we get a lot of neotropical migrants that come down from Canada that travel through to go down to South America. So we only have, not only, but we have 30 species here. And really what we're going to talk about, hello Molly, and hello Mrs. Woodford. Jean Woodford's here. But what we're going to show you today are two species that we have. Hello, it's okay. Welcome. Molly's the cutest dog, guys. She is just the sweetest thing. Not endangered by any means. But, so I'm going to show you a couple of species. Nobody's chiming in as far as what species that, thank you, Joseph. We have bald eagles on the property. We have bald eagles in captivity here on the property. Haley and Orion, they are endangered in this state. We also have a red-shouldered hawk that is endangered in this state. And I'm going to show you, I don't know, which one should I go with? So I have a reptile. Would you guys like to see the reptile first? Give me a thumbs up if you want a bird or a reptile, because I don't have a mammal that is endangered that lives here. Bobcats don't generally come to our animal hospital, and our mission is to release them if they do come in, but they haven't because they're mostly in North Jersey. So I'm going to go with the reptile since nobody's chiming in. So bear with me. So here we go. Hold on. Let's see. Here's our friend. Here you go. So yes, I have a little bit. Hi there. So this is Chevy. Now Chevy gets a name. Hi, honey. Does anybody know what kind of snake this is? So one of the dozen animals that is endangered in this state. Hello there, Chevy. How about you talk to the people? Say hello. Hello, Chevy. See if we can get her in focus. Yep. There you go, Alexandra. I love Chevy. So Chevy is beautiful. She is a constrictor. Hey, Melissa. Yes, it's a corn snake. So this is a corn snake, and no, they don't eat corn. Their bellies do tend to look a little bit like that traditional corn on the cob, though. So you can see those scutes on the bottom, and they do tend to have that pattern. They have a different pattern for each one, so it's like a fingerprint. Hi, honey. And these guys are constrictors. So these guys do tend to stop the blood flow in their prey. So you can see she has a very tiny head. There you go. She has a tiny head, perfectly harmless. Let's try to stop focusing on me. There you go, Chevy. She just cracks me up. So what she's doing is she's just really assessing what's going on out here. So she's collecting information on her tongue, and she's just collecting molecules, particles that are in the air, and she is telling herself, so to say, she has an organ on the roof of her mouth in her brain. It's called the Jacobson's organ, and a lot of people like to say that they're tasting or they're smelling their environment, but it's a little bit of both, and even more. So it tells them a lot about what's going on. Is there food? Is this safe? There you go. So Chevy here, she was captive bred, and then somebody was moving, and she happened to get lost in the car during the move. Here we go. See if she comes to you. She got lost in the car during the move, and for quite a bit of time. And then a few months later, she decided to come out through the air vent, and hence the name Chevy. I don't know exactly her original name, but Chevy had been captive bred, so she is not a species that was found and kept as a pet, which has contributed to their endangered status. So Chevy here, she does look like a typical corn snake, but they do vary in color. So you can see she has this banding pattern. It's beautiful. It is. So she has a little bit of gold, a little bit of brown, a little bit of orange. These guys are perfectly camouflaged for hiding in the cornfields. Guess what else likes corn? Mice, rodents, insects. These guys are excellent climbers. So as you can see, they can climb, but these guys are perfectly harmless. Even though they're a constrictor, they just want to swallow something whole that's not going to give them too much trouble. So she might eat some frogs and toads, definitely mammals, non-venomous, but also the thing that contributes to their endangered species is the loss of habitat. So when we're farming fields, when we are farming fields, we're destroying their habitat. So even though they have used those farms, she's so cute. Oh, I have another friend who's asking to come out. But we're also losing our farms here in New Jersey. So we are losing that natural habitat, even though they don't always use farms for hunting. They do tend to use open habitat to move around very easily and readily underneath some ground cover, and they can find food. But often people find snakes, and what do? They poke it with a stick and they harm them. Really, here in our part of the state, in Burlington County, there's really nothing to be afraid of. We do, hi Sarah, we do have timber rattlesnakes in our area, but I've never seen one, and I've worked here for 10 years. So I've never actually seen one around here. These are also called red rat snakes because they do tend to eat rodents and young rats. So as I've said before, when I've brought out a couple of our other snakes in the past, these guys have an amazing ability to open up that jaw by detaching. She just really wants to climb all over the camera. They can detach their jaw on the side here and here, and if you can see underneath of her chin, if she's going to let you, she really wants to look at herself. So underneath of her chin, she has a seam, and that stretches open as well. So it's like us being able to swallow a watermelon whole in one bite. So these guys don't chew, they are constrictors. So these guys can get up to 6 feet long. I'm about 6 feet tall. She's not quite there yet. So if I spread my arms out all the way, I'd be about 6 feet tall, and she's not quite there yet. She is young. She came to us in 2011, and typically out in the wild they live 6 to 8 years, but in captivity they can live up to 20. Most snakes most corn snakes tend to live only about 15, and usually that's just due to lack of care. But we do have another corn snake that's been retired who is well over 20. So just proper care, make sure that you're caring for them, and you can have your corn snake. Only if you purchase it. You cannot take these out of the wild. So if you do find a snake in the wild, please do not keep it as a pet. They are wonderful rodent control, as is our next visitor. So we are going to put her away, and we're going to see our next friend. Okay? Anybody have any questions for Chevy? Perfectly harmless, you can see. Beautiful. Hi, Ken. Say hi to Chevy, Ken. All right. Oh, hi, Richard. How are you? Is that you, Pam? All right, so I'm going to put Chevy away, and then I have a special guest. Now, this special guest also eats meat. It is endangered in this state. I'm going to put Chevy away. She's holding on to my watch. Now, oh, I got a tail up here. Where is she? See? There we go. I want to make sure I don't tie up her tail. And I have my next friend. So let's see. I'm going to put Chevy back here. Now my next friend, really interesting, why we even have these in this state. We have these animals in the state because people did a good deed after we did not such a good deed. So we actually wiped this bird out. Extirpated is the term. We wiped this bird out of the state, and because it hunted farms, or it would bother farmers, or people thought it was dangerous, or it was just fun to kill birds. So this one was actually wiped out completely, and due to the good efforts, it was put back. Hi, Heather. And it was put back into the wild. So all of this species is actually a combined species, a Canadian and a southern species that were bred together to make it perfectly adapted for the New Jersey habitat. So I'm over here, I'm just gonna get her. Hello there, would you like to see some of my friends? So here we have Artemis. So Artemis is a peregrine falcon. You see her? Hello. Hi. Nobody's here. So peregrine falcons are a high energy bird. They are the world's fastest animal. Yes, they are. So they have been clocked at over 200 miles an hour. I'm kind of looking at the comments. I can't see the ones that scrolled up, so it went too fast. I'm sorry. So Artemis here. Hello. I know, you're just trying to find out where you are. I'm not sure she's ever been in the nature center. Normally she's outside. But she's done very well. And Artemis here, world's fastest animal, over 200 miles an hour. Unfortunately, she came in here many years ago, about 10 years ago, and you can kind of see her left wing, or her wrist, has a permanent injury. So she doesn't have full extension of that wing, and she can't go back out into the wild. Hello, Erin, I see you waving. Oh, thank you. I'll clean that up later. So when they do tend to go, we call that slicing. So, hi. So Artemis here, I fed her earlier and she's been very good. Hello, miss you on Tuesdays too, Linda. So Linda was one of my volunteers at the animal hospital, and I think she's still here, but I don't work Tuesday nights anymore. Oh, but it's good to see you, Linda. But this is Artemis, and you can kind of see that she has these nostrils that kind of look like airplane engines. And that's because when these guys are hunting in the air, they tend to hunt birds. These guys love to eat birds. Ducks and things that are flying, so they fly high above, and then they turn their body shape. Oh, thank you, Marianne. If you have any questions, Marianne, just feel free to ask. I'm glad you're really enjoying this, and pretty much every day at 2, except for Sundays, we try to present something to you guys. We are still here working our animal hospital, and our trails are still open, and our animals are still being cared for. So thank you for all your donations, and thank you so much for appreciating what we're doing. But Artemis here, you can see she has a super sharp beak, and I'll try and put it in that white picture frame. So you can see that she has this bump in her beak. Now that one little bump is called a tomial tooth, and it's vicious. So that's how they actually sever the spine of their prey as they're flying. So they kill their prey in flight, so they are really vicious animals. But as I was saying, with her nostrils, it's one of my favorite parts of their anatomy. So they can, when they're diving, it does act like an airplane engine. So it just goes right through, and it doesn't slow them down. I'm just trying to see what she's looking at. So I always kind of look at the birds. I look at the animals as I'm watching them. So if she looks over my head a certain way, I want to kind of know what's behind me or what she's really focused on. I think she's just focused on what's going on in here. And I want to make sure she doesn't try to jump or what we call bait. I know, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming, it's okay. Yeah, so today she ate, she had 2 mice and some ground wild meat, and she had eaten that up in a whole, you can see that she can flap her wings, so you might see this where she's flapping her wings out in the enclosure. She does live in the animal housing area where many people get to see her, and she does flap like that if she knows that she's getting fed. So she tends to beg a little bit. What are you doing? Oh, it's because Molly's here. She saw a little dog. Did that scare you? Did you see a little dog? I'm sorry. Molly, Molly, I have a falcon right above you. How are you? Don't eat that. But she's doing really well. Oh no, Molly. So you can also see that she has, I know, she's doing good. You can see that they have this stripe down their face as well. So football players use that. And that's called a malar stripe because these guys do hunt out in the sun, way up high in the sky. And that black, that's kind of like the blackout that the football players use. And she's looking behind my head because she looks right there. She's just making sure. Who's that? You didn't know there was a person back there? I did. She's fine. So I'm gonna put her away. I know. Does anybody have any more questions for our friend Artemis here? So even though she can't go back out into the wild, she still thinks she's the fastest bird in the world. So they are faster than a cheetah. They are faster. The world's fastest sea animal, I believe, is the sailfish. I hear this from kids that come and visit because they watch Wildcrats. And I love learning things from the kids. But Artemis here, she has been with us. She is one of the birds that I really wished we could have gotten back out into the wild. But without efforts to put them back out into the wild and to ensure their habitat is still there, these guys wouldn't exist. So I have a challenge for you guys. I have no craft for you guys today. Some of you know that I teach high school, and of course this being the end of Earth Week, hashtag Earth Week 2020, my students did a campaign to conserve some type of wildlife that lives here in New Jersey. They were able to pick any kind of insect, invertebrate, bird, reptile. Of course, a lot of them wanted to do tigers and pandas and koalas, but I wanted them to understand that here in our tiny little state, there is such a desperate need for us to actually conserve wildlife, so we get to preserve their habitats and ensure that they're here for future generations. So if you guys want to just add, oh yeah, Henry. So he hasn't even seen her, so Henry doesn't know. But if you want to just tag a little campaign onto this link in the comments, my students, they made TikToks, they made videos, they made slideshows, they made posters of just their species of biggest concern to them. So of course the bald eagle is the first one we think of, but just think about that corn snake or even the red-bellied turtle that's out there. So there are threatened species in this state that are endangered of becoming endangered. So they are in danger of becoming endangered. So just make sure that you help us teach that next group. Hey Gina, you know, those young ones, and even you guys out there. I know there's a lot of adults out there that really care about these efforts as well. So keep doing the good work. We're still doing the good work here, and we thank you so much for your support in this really trying time. We know everybody is struggling, and we appreciate all those donations that you guys are giving us, because that really helps us continue this mission to get these animals back out into the wild. So thank you so much. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to put Artemis away, and I'm going to take a walk, and maybe I'll find some endangered species out on the trails. So when you come and visit, just make sure you're wearing your mask and you practice social distancing, because our trails are open. So thank you so much. Thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate you guys visiting today. So if that's it, guys, I'm going to turn you off. Oh, thank you so much. I do too. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate it. Oh, Linda, have a wonderful day. I hope to see you soon. I can't ever figure this out. Oh, that's because I have messages.